All right, happy Monday, everybody. Welcome into the daily broadcast brought to you in part by the wonderful people at McAlpin Chiropractic, the official chiropractor of Raiderland here in Lubbock. Also, Domino's Pizza got the national championship game coming up tonight. You don't want to be caught short of great pizza. You need it. Get the app, domino's.com, and then go from there. And of course, we're in the Arctic Air studios. Tomorrow, 55 around the West Texas, South Plains area. Yeah, but you know the heat's coming. If your air conditioner's not ready, you need to call the bear. Tell them we sent you. All right, everybody communicating tonight, whether you are on Facebook, whether you're on Twitter, whether you are on YouTube, thanks to United Supermarkets and Market Street. Look for those ad specials every week. Oh, we got a lot to get into tonight. Helmet Sticker Monday. Yeah, that's right. Who deserves a little recognition in your world? Sports or non-sports? You give them a Raiderland helmet sticker. There are many helmet stickers out there. Only one highly coveted, highly sought after Raiderland helmet sticker. Also tonight, Tech baseball. We discussed that. The sweep of Houston. What does it mean? What happens next? And then Eclipse talk. And it's the worst solar eclipse I've ever been to, quite frankly. I was really moderately disappointed. A few other things we may get to tonight, from Don Staley to the NCAA Men's Championship, and even Calipari in Arkansas, which we will just pose the question, why Arkansas? And we know why, because Arkansas is flawed on two different levels. They don't know who they are, and they don't know what they want. Let's get the broadcast going. You guys know what to do. If the audio is good, the video is good, everything else, give us thumbs up, hearts. Hit us there on the chat line. Thanks to Market Street United Supermarkets on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Jump in and then share it with your friends. All right. Here you go. Simultaneous sip for everybody arriving early. In 3, in 2. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, Raiderland.com, where you start your day with our column earlier today. You could have jumped in. Get the hot links every day. We serve them up fresh for you every morning. Cool stuff we find. We want you to check it out. Tomorrow we'll be right there for you around 8:30 to 9:30 is when we usually post. I got to wait for a few things to come in every morning before we could throw it out there. Otherwise, you wouldn't get the great sunrises from Dane Dubry over there at South Plains College. That's right. A lot of great Red Raiders started off as great Texans. The road to Raiderland runs through Levelland, South Plains College. Great sponsor of what we do here. So, yeah, you need to go over there, theraiderland.com. Maybe you missed our column on Sunday. 5 things we know, not 4, not 3. 3 is right out. 6 is too many to the counting. 5 is right on. Let's see, Chris, will we get a Calipari video doing Woo Pig? I don't want to see it. The talking box is on. Damon James giving thumbs up. All right, where do we want to go first? Big weekend for Tech baseball. We talked a lot about it last night on Diamond Talk, brought to you by Thacker Jewelry here in Lubbock, Texas. I know, sometimes Sunday, the weekends, you guys miss it a little bit. There were a lot of no downside, all upside out of that. You see it today with doinbaseball.com, the RPI now in the 30s for the first time this year. Where are we sitting right here? Hold on a second. I got to hit the refresh button on that, make sure I've got it right. That for the first time this year in the RPI, Tech is 39. That's big. That didn't mean you're in the NCAA tournament just yet. And they'll come out Wednesday with their midweek. Well, I assume they're doing it weekly now. Maybe they're waiting another week to do it weekly, which would mean bi-weekly, but I think they're doing it weekly now. They had Tech one of the last 4 out last week. I thought that was really optimistic. So if they've got Tech in this coming week, I would say I think you're one of the last ones out. I'm just not a believer right now in this Big 12 conference as far as the NCAA tournament getting bids. And I know conferences don't get bids. Teams get bids. You put your resume up. But if you're Tech, you've still got to slog your way through most of the top half of the conference. There's so much more to be sorted out. And I still think this thing's going to cannibalize itself a little bit. And if you're Tech, you've still got to slog your way through most of the top half of the conference. There's so much more to be sorted out. And I still think this thing's going to cannibalize itself a little bit. And if you're Tech, you've still got to slog your way through most of the top half of the conference. There's so much more to be sorted out. And I still think this thing's going to cannibalize itself a little bit. And if this league gets in 5 teams, I think that'll be a great year. They had 7 in last week, D1Baseball.com. Utmost respect, Kendall Rogers. They're much smarter than I am, but I'm just looking at it going and projecting into late May, going, I just don't know where you're going to get 7, 5 maybe, and we've seen it even worse than that. And then we have to have the conversation about, is this a good league, a bad league, an average league? Everybody's average, nobody's good. I kind of lean towards everybody's better than average. Not They're good teams. These are good teams. Tech's a good team. Then I look around college baseball right now this year, guys, and I go, well, who's good? Who's great? You go, well, Tennessee's great. Yeah. Or Wake Forest, they're great. Well, are they? I can make a case. Just keep winning, says James. We can do that. What else you got tonight? Bubble up on the RPI. I use the term bubble up. I don't know if you guys are fans of, Jimmy Buffett and his last single released posthumously, Bubbles Up, actually. And it's the thing you do when you're scuba diving, when you're diving, and you kind of get, a little lost. Just let the bubbles go up, and that's how you know where to go up to the surface. That's kind of what I think Tech baseball did this weekend. Bubbles up. What do we got to do to win? Where do we got to go? The hitting, you're going to overestimate some of the hitting with the wind and the runs scored. Even though Houston hit more home runs than Tech, hey, the ball was jumping, it was flying, you were getting that. So maybe you go bubbles up too much on that. And then you look at the pitching and people are going to go, man, they were looking good after UCF. The ball didn't carry there. The ball doesn't carry there. The ball is jumping out. I look at Sanders. I give him a Raiderland helmet sticker this week. Dude competed on Friday and on Sunday, closing out games. You've got to have, and I believe it was Larry Hayes who I heard use this term 30 years ago, that when the wind is blowing like it was this weekend, and even when you just pitch in Lubbock, Texas, and whatever, you better have a no ego ERA. And by that he meant you don't worry about what your ERA number is. You worry about, you got to win games. Why are you on the team? To win games. What are we doing here? We're trying to win games. And I thought for the most part, the guys adjusted over the weekend to having a no ego ERA. Some do it better than others. Some can adjust. Some you make a great pitch and you execute the pitch, as we like to say today. You execute the pitch, and the guy gorks it, and it gets up in the wind, and you give a 3-run bomb. Some handle that better than others. I thought for the most part, you had some no ego guys up there on the mound just trying to figure out how can we make this thing work and win. It's ACU on Wednesday now, by the way. They've moved this because of the weather that's coming up tomorrow. I'm looking out my office window right here in the Arctic Air Studios, where the air is perfect. The air is fantastic. I'm going, woo, doggy. We got some weather coming in, I think. Got to pay attention to that. So they move that. Then you got TCU this weekend. TCU struggling. And by that we mean they're just, since conference play, they're right down there with Houston and Baylor and everybody else. So we go, yeah, that's great. Catch them right now. Well, how'd you do it, Baylor, against a team that sucks? You better learn how to hit the ball away from Dan Law Field. Rod has jumped in. We may need a dome with no wind to improve pitching. No, I actually like it. The guys who've embraced it over the years, they do well. The teams that have embraced it, because it plays much more on the opponent. It's a lot harder on the teams coming in. Augie Garrido could never handle it or adjust. His teams coming into Lubbock, you just knew they were going to flounder because he hated it. He talked about it. It drove him crazy. So give me wind, but give me guys that are willing to pitch in the wind and go, I might give up 5 runs, but I'm going to win the game, and we're going to win. And then you can go on the road and go, throw your 2 2-run, 6-hit, 5-inning, 6-inning deal. If you are just getting in, whether it may be on Twitter, maybe it's on Facebook, maybe it's on YouTube Live, and everybody who's watching tonight, even if you don't watch on YouTube, please go subscribe to our YouTube channel. It just helps the metrics. It helps our great advertisers like United Supermarkets, which provide the communication lines to get in, like Boot City, One Money Saving Mile outside the West Loop on 19th. You dig some of the shirts we wear? This is kind of cool. I like this one. They got it. They got all the spring and summer styles ready to go, short sleeve and otherwise. I can't wear short sleeve shirts anymore. My arms are too skinny. I got to hit the weights. But you talk to Cody out there and you tell him we sent you from Raiderland. You go out there and you get some cool stuff, man. So if you can do that, if you can just subscribe to our YouTube channel, even if you don't ever watch anything there, you could, like our 60 seconds of Raiderland commentary, which we do almost every day except the days we don't do it. And it's not 60 seconds. It goes a little longer because, I can. It's my deal. We were talking about Arkansas basketball going after John Calipari and asking the question why on that. So all those things, you could subscribe tonight. Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland right there on YouTube. It's easy. You can find it. Do that stuff. Fake Natalie Maines. I know the real Natalie Maines. Oh, yes, I do. Helmet sticker to high school track season being over with. Spring can start now. No, that's not fake. No, are you going to? I'm sorry, that was James. I conflated two texters, commenters into one, and it was the fake James Natalie Maines, and it's really weird. Are you going to watch poor basketball fundamentals in shooting tonight? I'll turn it on. I'll have it on. I'm not invested in any way. If you want to get invested, I would say I really think the 6.5 number is still pretty good for UConn. Under second half point total, if you can get that somewhere, this building has yielded unders half totals amazingly consistently. And I believe 5 straight games in this building, the second half has gone under. I would say that's a pretty good bet. And unlike people on ESPN who go, it's like free money. No, it's not free money. I'm just saying it's a pretty decent bet if you want to go under on that. I do think UConn wins. I think they're better. The problem you get, I think, with Painter and what he's done around Edie, and it's fine as you spread the floor out and you're going to try to drop shots in. UConn's so long, they get the shot. They get to you. They get to the shooters. You're not going to have that. So it degresses from there offensively. Like UConn, I think they win by probably 9 or 10. Could very well be about a 5 or 6 point game in the last 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Free throw line, put them at the line. You'll do that until you get down by what you can't get in 3 possessions under 1 minute is kind of the rule. So you go from there. Let's see. So James said, helmet sticker to high school track being over. Spring can be good. Yeah, junior high track. All my brethren, all my track people. My dad was a track coach. I grew up around track, love track. Yeah, the weather's we're done with that. We're district. We're qualifiers, meets, and everything else. So now life can be good on that. Damon, I watch it every day as you do a 60 seconds in Raiderland. Thank you, Damon. Everybody celebrate Damon. Thank you, Damon. Sometimes it's tech, sometimes it's politics, sometimes whatever I think of. That's what we do on the 60 seconds in Raiderland deal. And I hope you guys like it. Michael, I heard on the Pat McAfee show. I'm going to stop right there and go. You heard of Pat McAfee show? Really? Are you guys sharing this, by the way? Put it on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, everything. Heard on the Pat McAfee show today that Jerry Jones was a huge part of Calipari going to Arkansas. If that's the case, and I'm not saying it's not, and now we can get into some Calipari in Arkansas, that would be about the first time we've heard Jerry Jones or anybody other than the Tyson Foods people, which I believe their last name is Hunt, really giving a damn about basketball in the last 10, 15 years. that one of the problems that Eric Musselman apparently had was NIL, not a lot of money flowing in. So maybe Jerry Jones got involved, maybe he didn't, maybe he wrote a check. But again, it's fascinating that the problem for Arkansas apparently was NIL. And there were some people saying, yeah, Walmart going to show up in the Walton. No, they really don't do as much as you would think. They do a lot of on the academic side there at Arkansas, but on the athletic side, and yeah, there's Bud Walton Arena. I know that. I've been there, called a game there. It's adequate. It's okay. It's not great. Barnhill was probably a better home court advantage. But meanwhile, back at Arkansas, so you sit there with Eric Musselman, who Texas Tech obviously saw in the NCAA tournament, and we watched what he did, and he had them deeper runs in the NCAA tournament, and nobody had done anything like what he'd done coming into Arkansas a few years ago since 1996, strolling and rolling with Nolan in the 40 minutes of hell Arkansas defense. So we fast forward to today where Musselman and Arkansas got sick of each other. He was tired of them. They were tired of him. They thought they should be doing better, having deeper runs. He's a cranky son of a bitch, and nobody really likes him. And he wears out his welcome really quick, just like his dad. Google his dad. Do your research. So Arkansas runs him off. He goes to USC. In a way, I look at that, and it reminds me of Solich at Nebraska, R.C. Slocum at A&M on the football side, that you've got a program that thinks they're on one level and should be operating on another level when really there's nothing in their history that says they should be doing anything other than that. Come back to today and Calipari. So you run off a guy who's gone to Elite Eight, Sweet 16s, deep runs in the NCAA tournament for a guy who's 65 years old, who's been at Kentucky, best recruiting classes in the country, and he can't get out of the first round. Flameouts in the NCAA tournament. A guy who has been the king of the one and done, who's had a hard time not adjusting to NIL, but the transfer portal and the idea that the name of the game today, and I'm going to quote Gil Alexander, my friend at VSIN, get old, stay old, is college basketball right now. That's the antithesis of what Calipari has done and seemingly embraces. So Calipari is now suddenly going to embrace not NIL, not the transfer portal, but the idea of coaching guys who have 4 and 5 years in college basketball, 3 and 4 years. Get old, stay old, have experience. What the hell are you doing, Arkansas? It makes no sense to run off Musselman, and you ran him off, and he wanted to run off, but to go get Calipari at a time when nothing about what he did at Kentucky, and this is where I get to the point that there are a lot of boosters out there that have a lot of money and no basketball smarts. They think they're buying Calipari 10 years ago. They think they're buying Kentucky 10 years ago. Yeah, man, that Calipari guy, he's great. Kentucky, yeah. We want to be Kentucky. Really? You were better than Kentucky, Arkansas, for the last 5-6 years. And you're going to go get that guy, which is where when you get boosters, when you get donors involved, who have the final say that really don't know that much about what's going on, this is what you get. You buy something that isn't what you think you're buying. Sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. Is this the last leg for Calipari? Says James, yes. If you want your team to win, you want Jerry far away from your team, says fake Natalie Maines. It's all about Jerry going all in this year for the Cowboys. That's why he did nothing. Even though everybody who thinks what the Texans did going up there and getting Stephon Diggs was something. Major League Baseball says Randy Wade doesn't mind going head-to-head with college basketball. Rangers and Stros tonight over Purdue and UConn. Yeah. If you're Major League Baseball, you got to play at some point, right? You got to play the game at somewhere. Are you guys right now, at this very moment, everybody who is watching, everybody who's on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, share this. At this very moment, do me a favor. Do McAlpin Chiropractic, the official chiropractor of Raiderland, a great West Texan, Kevin McAlpin, Canyon Eagle. He has worked with Texas Tech's track and field athletes for decades. Domino's Pizza, my friends over there. Thin crust double pepperoni. Boot City United and Arctic Air Studios. That's our crew tonight. We're in the Arctic Air Studios. It's so Arctic, I'm almost cold. I want everybody who's watching right now to hit the share button, to invite your friends in. If everybody did it, and I know you guys won't, you won't, that guy won't over there. I know she won't. She's afraid. I understand why. If I were you, I'd be afraid too. But if everybody would do that right now, it would be amazingly cool and fantastic in the final 10 minutes, 9 minutes we got to talk Red Raider baseball, helmet stickers, who gets respect, who deserves a little recognition, sports or non-sports, and Eclipse. Let's go Eclipse right now. Lonnie shared it. You guys, everybody who shares it, put it on there like Lonnie did. He's on Facebook. You know, if you're on Twitter, if you're on YouTube, thanks to United Supermarkets, we get your comments, we get your contributions. There's a supermarket in town that works with tech and supports them, and there's one in town. Send your money down there to Austin. I like what Lonnie did. I like what Chris did. Share it. Let us know you did it. That'd be cool. So the Eclipse. I've been around for a few eclipses over the years. It's about the worst eclipse I've ever seen myself. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not going to anymore. I was making my way into town from out here at the studios in the Arctic Air Studios, and you know, it just kept looking like it was going to rain. I really expected more out of an eclipse. I really did. Didn't do much for me. And I heard a guy on one of the TV networks this morning saying, you know, the totality of he was a highbrow professor and highly educated in astronomical ways. And he was, elucidating and educating the populace on the idea of the totality and what this would mean and the ability to see it here in the United States of America, that it was the difference of something that was really neat and cool to something that was life-changing. You know what would be life-changing for me right now? About 1.5 to 2.5 inches of rain here in West Texas over the next 24 to 48 hours. That would be life-changing. You know what's not life-changing? An astronomical event that occurs on a regular basis that we figured out, and it happens because this planet does this, the moon around it does this, and the sun's over there, and everybody does this around it, and it's going to come around, and that's what's going to happen. That, to me, is not life-changing. Now, between now and plant time in late May, you give me about 2.5 to 3.5, maybe 4 inches. That's life-changing in West Texas. Give me some of that. What we have here is a totality eclipse. Lonnie, all the end of the world talk will let you down. Did you share it? Have you put it out there yet? Few more minutes to go. Tech baseball. I think we mentioned it. I believe they're going. I think I heard this right on the coaches show tonight with Tim Tadlock and Jeff Haxton, that they are going Wednesday on the Abilene Christian midweek series. By the way, after all the runs that were put up this weekend, wait for it. It's going to be like just a slog to get, 5 or 6 runs. This weekend was an anomaly at the park. It happens there at Danlaw 2 times a year, maybe. You might catch one conference series that plays like that. But you're not going to see 12, 15, 10 runs a game, which means pitching's going to have to kind of revert back. Where were you today watching the eclipse? If somebody had a cool eclipse story that you want to get in real quick, or just wherever you were, that's fine. Here in the Hubplex, everybody was just like, all right, that's it. Okay, let's, finally we could get people back to work. I was driving around while it was building to totality, and it was just a bunch of homeless people out there looking up in the air. Like, don't you people have jobs? Don't you have somewhere to go? So if you were somewhere that was actually cool, if you were somewhere that you got to see it, and that's good, that's cool, that's awesome. I want to hear about it because I'm totally old and jaded. Jared, took my students outside for a unique learning experience today. And thank you for using the word unique because it's moderately unique depending on how long they live. Jared, I remember when I was in third grade in Canyon, Texas, and there was an eclipse much like today, not total, but partial. I looked it up, I found it. And we went out, we had the little boxes and everything, and we looked at it and we saw the shadow, and then we went back inside and we, started doing school. So it was kind of cool. Does Tech have a go-to number one starter and closer? No. You've got about three starters. Right now, they're about the same level. Kyle Robinson is my guy that I feel most confident about that can throw 85 to 95 pitches effectively. He threw longer than that this weekend because you had a big lead and you were willing to give up a couple of bombs, which he did in the fifth, and they couldn't. I mean, they wanted him to finish the fifth to qualify for the win and everything else, but it didn't work out, obviously. But after that, you kind of got about a B plus, A minus, and then a couple of Bs. You don't have that. But I look around the Big 12, James, and I don't see shutdown guys anywhere. What we used to call Friday night guys are really Saturday now because most teams pitch their best pitcher on Saturday. So you're either winning the series if you won on Friday or evening it up. So it's really interesting that I don't see that the way we used to 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. It's weird year in the Big 12. Lonnie, took my 4-year-old grandson outside to look through the welder's mask in Canyon, Texas. Go Eagles. The welder's mask. And the 4-year-old's got the welder's mask on. He's going, I don't care about anything, Granddad. I just want to wear the mask. That's all. He don't care. Michelle shared it. Not scared. You shouldn't be. CJ and Jinx. OU, it was somewhat dark. Yeah. Pitching only has to work at the right moment, not every pitch. Amen on that. It's how you get out of innings, how you get out of trouble. And it's that last out, whatever it is, the game, the inning, the crucial moment that's the hardest one to get. And Texas Tech pitching this weekend, even though you'll look at the numbers and say, well, that was awful. No, it really wasn't that awful. Too many walks again, and we talk about challenging the strike zone and throwing to contact. And I am just going so heavy on that this year with this team that's all I want the pitchers to do right now. I don't care about anything else. No more walks. They'll run into outs. They will hit it an atom bomb right at second, right at short, right at the left fielder. Groove it. Let them hit atom bombs. But they will run into outs more than they will get walks, and then doubles and triples. Jared, baseball guy and tennis guy get along quite well, and like watching football guy freak out. Tennis guy, tell me more about tennis guy. Tennis guy could be interesting. I dated a couple of tennis players a million years ago. I like tennis players. Tennis guy. I'm not familiar with tennis guy. Man, and we're running out of clock here on the show. And I want to thank everybody who's been with us tonight. I want to thank Domino's Pizza. You still got time right now. Get on the app, domino's.com. Download it on your phone. Amazing savings. And if you're like ordering directly in Lubbock, tell them thanks for being a part of Raiderland. If you're somewhere outside of Lubbock and you say that, they're like, I'm very confused. So I don't want to talk to you. But thank them. McAlpin Chiropractic. Of course, United Supermarkets. We don't get to talk to you if they don't create the text line, the comment line, and all that stuff to do that. And then the Arctic Air Studios, which now is feeling pretty good. It's felt good all day, but I mean, it's getting better. Tennis guy knows that you don't have to win every point, just the right point at the right time, says Jared, just like pitching. Okay, that's why I didn't have a very good tennis career. Is tennis guy serve and volley guy? James wants to know. David Collier is just here for the Eclipse talk. Well, tell me about your Eclipse talk today, David. You got off the radio at noon. That was 18 minutes before the Eclipse began in Lubbock, 18 to 20 minutes. So you were driving away from the Palatial Studios where you do your talk show, where you have a massive spread of really brunch before you go on meats, cheeses, croissants, all of that stuff there with you and Haxton. Then you do your show and you're getting fed. You get dates, not dates like women, but fruit dates, around 10:30 just to keep you fresh. So you leave the studio and then it's Eclipse time. How did David Collier, KMEC 28 sports director, how did you? Oh, Ellipse. Dot, dot, dot. It's totally different. He came here for punctuation talk. Never mind. Never mind. The ellipse. Yeah, all that I was talking about. Never mind. It's the ellipse he wanted. Man wanted dots, not dipping dots. Green, white, checkered. I know. I'm trying to get out of here, but Collier showed up. How many people got pulled over because their headlights or taillights were burnt out during the eclipse? Not ellipse. That would be so wrong. If you're an officer, if you're LEO, and you're pulling over somebody on Eclipse Day, going, "Yeah, I couldn't help but notice you are wearing really dark glasses and looking out your window, and your light's not on." Really? Come on now, be cool. All right, we got to get. You guys share this, put it out there. Whether it's on Twitter, YouTube, I don't know, Facebook Live, wherever it may be. We'll post this on our website, theraiderland.com, here in a minute. We will have it tomorrow, our Tuesday column, Tuesday's Best. We'll give you a topic, you give us two best examples of that. Raiderland Hot Links, cool stuff we think you like. Hat tip, by the way, Screen Caps Nation, Outkick.com, Joe Kinsey. He picks up some of the stuff we do every now and then. Again, we appreciate it a whole lot. We stole it from him. He does it best. We try to do a West Texas version. So get the hot links in the morning and then share and comment on everything we do. There's a little button I got to hit. There's a button here. All right, here we go. Y'all ready to get it out? Go. In stream. Now it says, this is the most frustrating thing about StreamYard. It's like, really? No, really, I want to. In the stream, not yet, or in stream. So now I got to do it again and strike a seductive pose.